Kiir holds a consultative meeting on the proposed document for peace talks in Ethiopia. Vice President James Wani-Iga discusses the current political situation with the British Special Envoy to South Sudan. Office of the President donates 15,000 tons of relief items for Pibor County. A very warm welcome to South Sudan Television. Wherever you are tuned in, we are coming to you live from Juba with the latest news from around the country. My name is Grang John. The President of the Republic, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, held a consultative meeting at the State House with presidential advisors, cabinet ministers and political leaders to discuss the framework and lay down the final touches on the proposed agenda for the second phase of the negotiation with Riek Machar rebel group in Addis Ababa. We apologize for the poor audio in that story. While the Vice President James Wani-Iga discussed with the British Special Envoy to South Sudan, Tim Morris, the current political situation in the country, the meeting also discussed the ongoing negotiation in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Iga assured the British envoy of his country's commitment to bring peace to the country.
The Vice President spoke very eloquently about the commitment of the government of South Sudan to this process, and I will take that message back to Addis Ababa. My country, the United Kingdom, is committed to the future of South Sudan. We hope and pray for the success of these talks and the bringing together of the various parties to the dispute which has taken place. We support the President and the government of South Sudan in this endeavour and very much wish for success.
The National Legislative Assembly on Monday, under the chairmanship of the Speaker Manasseh Magog Rundia, discussed an urgent motion raised by Honorable Sabina Dario Lokolong on the state of security in Lauro Payam Obudi County in eastern Equatorial State. The Assembly agreed to form a select committee to investigate the incident and submit the finding to the Assembly. The Parliament also passed a report of a parliamentary delegation which visited Uganda to extend gratitude to the Ugandan government for the support to the government and the people of South Sudan during the political chaos instigated by renegade Riek Machar. The government of the state of Eritrea has formally registered its support to the government of South Sudan in finding solution to the ongoing crisis in the country. This is the first time Eritrea has joined Voices of Nations supporting South Sudan since the failed coup attempt.
The presidents, the heads of state had to say. That was President Uhuru Kenyatta, President Kagame, and President Museveni as well as the Vice President of Tanzania and Vice President of Burundi. They had to say this on the situation in the Republic of South Sudan. The heads of state noted that the current crisis has serious implications on regional peace and security. The heads of state rejected attempts of unconstitutional change of government as enshrined in the African Union Constitutive Act. The heads of state condemned strongly the recent attack by the rebels in South Sudan on the town of Malakal on the 18th February 2014, as this constituted a serious violation of the cessation of hostilities agreement signed on the 23rd of January 2014 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. They reaffirmed their support to the Republic of South Sudan in her quest for resolution of the crisis in consonance with IGAD mechanism. Also, President Isaiah Afwerki of Eritrea has also confirmed his full support to the government of the Republic of South Sudan and has asked the region to support the government of the Republic. Our people in South Sudan, wherever they are, we must fight tribalism. Tribalism is a vice. It's a bad thing that people who want to build their nation should not get involved with. So it is a work for all of us, especially you members of the press. You must urge the unity of our people, not to do things which divide them. If there are those who are trying to divide us, those who are doing bad things among us, we will identify them and punish those, hold them accountable to that. That should not endanger the unity of this country. And I think all of us are actually out here as citizens of this republic in order to do that. The president is very clear that is.
South Sudan Army SPLA says it has killed more than 70 rebels in an attack in Upper Nile State this morning. In a statement to South Sudan television, SPLA spokesperson Colonel Philip Aguer said the attackers were repelled and that the security situation in Upper Nile State is now under full control.
Would like to make this statement on the security situation in Upper Nile in general and in the area of Golguk, that is near the oil field in Upper Nile. This morning, around 5 o'clock a.m., SPLA position at Golguk came under attack from forces of Riek Machar, and the attack was defeated. The attackers withdrew, leaving 70 dead bodies on the ground. The SPLA command of the area, Brigadier General Niall Batong and his officers, assured the public in Upper Nile and in South Sudan in general that they are in control of the situation. And on the view of the operations in Upper Nile, and particularly targeting the areas of northern Upper Nile, the SPLA Commander-in-Chief, General Kiir, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, congratulate the officers of Sector 2 of the SPLA, and particularly the gallant officers of the SPLA in Golguk for their accomplishment of national duty of protecting the territorial integrity of the SPLA. And in this regard, the congratulations covered Division 1 and all the forces of the divisions that are confronting the enemy in Sector 2. End of the statement by the SPLA General Headquarters.
Calm has returned to Pibor County of Jonglei State, and the locals who previously escaped from the region are now returning to the home state. The office of the president has offered 15,000 tons of food items to the internally displaced persons who are being repatriated back to the ancestral land in Pibor County. Our reporter Kizito Oketa Modest has more on the story.
Peace in Pibor County, a region inhabited by Murle ethnic group in Jonglei State. Thousands of internal displaced persons who flew the area during the conflict are now returning back home after Yao Yao rebel group accepted to lay down weapons and work with the government of South Sudan to promote peace in the country. The office of the president has offered 20 trucks to transport 15,000 tons of food items and thousands of returning IDPs from Juba to Pibor on Monday.
Del machine la kwangle gumruk bibor بعدين هم بمشي بقسم هناك كمان هم عارفين المالات دارين الناس تعبانين فوق مالين في شعبية كتير هم بيعرفين لو أجد وصل للكوانغلي يوم هذا الأول بمشي بقسمه هناك في لكوانغلي.
A legislator from Pibor County of Jongle State, Honorable Ismail Kony, encouraged the internal displaced person from Pibor to return home, assuring them of maximum security and stability. Honorable Ismail appreciated the government of South Sudan for supporting the welfare of the people in the area.
بين الحكومة وياو قوات ياو والآن ابتكر في يعني خطوة كويس السلام ماشي والناس شعروا على إنه طالما في سلام ما في داعي عشان الناس يجنبوا في جوبا هنا أحسن الواحد يمشي يقعد مع أولاده ومع أقربائه وبلده هناك فالآن ده الفوج الأول.
The returning internal displaced person left Juba celebrating as they head back home to their ancestral land, ready to begin a new life. The returnees from Pibor County appreciated the government for restoring law and order in their area.
I'm from Pibor. Before everything, I thank God who protect these things, and we are live in Juba after this time. And we say to all the UN and the governor of South Sudan and all the leaders who do the job. I say thanks for you doing, because now we feel we need to go to our village, we need to go to see our parents. Long time we leave our parents there, and yet right now we need to go there to see them. And we say thanks because now we're going back to see our parents.
The government in Juba recently initiated a peace dialogue with the leader of South Sudan Democratic Movement, Army Corporal Function David Yao Yao, paving way to restoration of peace in the region.
Central Equatorial Legislative Assembly, in a session chaired by the Speaker Naphtali Hassan Gale, listened to a report on the state budget for the year 2013-2014 presented by the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Professor Paul Ladu Bureng. Speaking to South Sudan Television, Professor Bureng said the 2013-2014 budget is about 400 million South Sudanese pounds, with an increase of 107 million South Sudanese pounds from the state budget for the year 2012 to 2013. The leader of the minority in the National Legislative Assembly, Honorable Nyoti Odigo Nyikwach, met with the British Special Representative to South Sudan, Tim Morris, to discuss the role Britain could play in pursuing the ongoing peace process in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Tim assured his government readiness to support the two parties in the peace talks.
So as well as, of course, talking to the South Sudanese government, I've been sharing views today about the negotiation process and the needs of this country as it moves forward. The United Kingdom strongly supports the future of South Sudan and hopes for some good progress in the talks in Addis Ababa, and for the politicians of this country to really be able to feel the full support of the international community in developing the politics and the future of the country on behalf of the South Sudanese people.
مبوظ الكاز لبريطانيا في مدرسات في أديس أبابا جاء لنا هنا عشان نشوف وجهة النظر بتاع البرلمان بتاع الماينورتي جروب في بارلمان كمان، يعني جاء عشان يشوفوا وفعلا هم متصممين على أساس يدعم جنوب السودان في كل حالات في وجود بتاعهم، يكون في سلام في جنوب السودان، يكون في خيرات في جنوب السودان. ده يو وجه النظر بتاعهم، عشان كده هم قاعدين دايم في محادثات يشوف حاليات كيفية نوصل لحلول عشان يجيب السلام في بلد بتاعنا هنا خاصة للناس كلهم.
Local authorities in Jonglei State have completed mass burial for the civilians killed by Riek Machar rebel group in Bor. Report from the area indicated that civilians have started returning to the area after the army restored law and order.
Acquainted himself with the progress of work in the state civil hospital and the general conditions of patients and health facilities in the hospital in Jonglei State. Mayor Majak, who has accompanied by his staff, visited a mass grave of women and children massacred at Bor Episcopal Church of South Sudan and Sudan, which has a total of 509 bodies massacred by Riek Machar rebels, mostly women and children and elder people.
In this grave, there are 176 bodies already in this grave, halfway buried. Some part of it is buried already, and some bodies are still lying on the ground. Yes, in the grave here. When finished, this grave is going to take 200 bodies. And on my left-hand side here, there are two mass graves. You can have a look at it, Mame. Here, has taken 148 bodies, and this one has taken 139 bodies. So by the total, with 22 bodies on the church memorial ground, this gives us up to 509 bodies already collected and buried. And we also have 49 graves already identified in the town, fresh graves, and some graves still being counted and bodies are still being collected. As far as this place is concerned, they're going to dig another bigger grave on the other side that is big enough to accommodate 200 bodies. So this is going to be still a continuous process, and we are very thankful for our volunteers and the people who have been able to work to collect the bodies. This is a honorable job that they are doing to their loved ones, and God bless you so much.
Mayor Majang Nia retreated his concern for the improvement of health condition in Bor, and which has said is the responsibility of every person. He urged the inhabitants to promote a spirit of peace and reconciliation in the state and the country at large. Reporting for SSTV News, I'm Emmanuel Malwal.
A delegation from the National Ministry of Roads, Transport and Bridges paid a two-day visit to Warrap State capital Kwajok to see for themselves the road being constructed by Law Group Company. More in the following report.
Road and Bridges, led by Director General Engineer Durich, paid a two-day visit to Warrap State capital Kwajok to see by themselves the road that was under construction by Law Group Company. Law Group Company is a national company working in the field of infrastructures in South Sudan. Speaking to SSTV, the Director General for Road and Bridges said the purpose of the visit is their normal routine work to see the progress of the road under construction in the country. He said the ministry is putting effort to connect roads from Gogrel to Abyei, as it is the heart of South Sudan.
Wow. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin, coming to you from South Sudan Television. Thanks for tuning in. On behalf of the TV crew in the studio, my name is Garang John, saying good night and good luck. Remember to stay tuned to more program coming up on SSTV.
بلد عظيم بلد أخضر جنوب سودان شعب كريم أرض مسلم جنوب سودان بلد عظيم بلد أخضر جنوب سودان شعب كريم أرض مسلم
بتاع الحزن ونرجع الابتسامة في قلوب بتاع الناس. خلينا نعيش مع بعض كأنه إحنا ناس سودان سودانيس بنقدر نعمل حاجة بدون ما يجينا جهة من برا. بجد كل ما أنت بتساعد أخوك في الأزمة بتاعته فأنت بتلقى إنه يوم ما في الأزمة بتاعك إنه هو بيقدر يساعدك. فأنا قاعد أشيد للنسوان بصفة عامة، خلينا نقف مع بعض، خلينا ندعم بعض كأنه إحنا نسوان جنوبيات قادرات. خلينا ندي صورة في الدول الأخرى بأنه إحنا أيوة نسوان حديثات بنقدر نعمل حاجة مهما كان الحاجة ده صعب لكن إحنا بنقدر نعمله. خلينا نشوف إنه النسوان حتى ليه أنا قاعد أقول حديثة حتى لمن في 21 سنة، يعني أنت بتلقى المرأة هي بتجاهد بتشيل السلاح بتضرب في نفس الزمن بترجع لدورها إنها هي كمرأة بتلدي، رغم إنه في تجولات من محل لمحل هي بتحاول تلدي، بتحاول تألم جناحها عشان بكرة يكون زيادة للبلد. فده الحاجة اللي أنا بقدر أقوله وأقدمه لكم. شكرا.
ولاية جونجلي دكتورة جيهان مكيج دينج، وكمان برحب برئيسة اتحاد المرأة بجنوب السودان أستاذة سارة جيمس. فنحن كنا حريصين جدا إنه لازم يعني تكون معنا اتحاد المرأة عشان ما يقدر يساندونا نحن، عشان ما يقدر يدعموننا، وكمان يخلوا كل الناس كل البنات اللي في عمرنا أو أصغر مننا كمان هم ما يقولوا هم ما هيقدر يدعموا وما هيقدر يعملوا حاجة، لكن بلا عندهم يقدر يساندوا. فأنا بدي الفرصة لأستاذة سارة، فمرحبا بك. شكرا جزيلا.
I'm Sarah James Sajid, the chairperson to South Sudan Women General Association. We are here as a women of South Sudan. We women, we are devastated. We feel the top loser of any conflict. We are the producer of raw materials of war. We suffered. And that is why we are here today. Looking to our people. We are going to give some small things for them. I'm calling upon all the women of Southern Sudan to unite and help our women because they are displaced and they are traumatized. And actually, this conflict developed suspicions, mistrust, traumatized. And we need to stand firm with them and we need to help them. And احنا هنا اليوم جينا هنا لزيارة الناس اللي نزحوا من مناطقهم. نزحوا ليه؟ نزحوا بالحرب اللي ما عنده معنى خالص بالنسبة لنا. أنا ما كنت متخيلة إنه بعد انفصال الجنوب تاني أن إحنا نرجع نشاكل بعض. ليه؟ ديل الأجيال أن إحنا مفروض ننميهم عشان هم يكونوا مستقبل بتاع جنوب السودان. One nation, one people. ليه أن إحنا بنشاكل؟ ده سؤال مطروح لنا جميعا. الناس دي نزحت وتعبانة وعايزة مساعدات، عشان كده أنا بناشد كل نساء جنوب السودان إنه يقدروا يقيفوا مع النساء اللي اتضرروا في الولايات المتضررة فيها هي ولاية جونجلي وولاية عالي النيل وولاية بانتيو. لازم نحن نقيف معاهم لأنه المرأة في طبيعة حالة إنها حنينة. ما في مرة يوم واحد اتمردت ولا عملت مشاكل خالص. أن إحنا ناس ربنا خلقنا إنه أن إحنا ناس مسالمين، أن إحنا ناس عندنا حنية، أن إحنا ناس بنحب بعض. عشان كده لازم أن إحنا نقيف. وأنا بدي فرصة لأخواتي برضو عشان هم يقدروا يقيفوا معاكم ويدوكم words of encouragement. Thank you so much.
وزيرة الصحة بولاية جونجلي الدكتورة جيهان مكيج دينج، نقول لك مرحبا بك.
مرحب. أنا مبسوطة خالص وبهني المجموعة بتاعت المرأة الحديثة لجنوب السودان South Sudan Modern Women Association. دي مبدر جميل جدا جدا، وأنا بشكرهم خالص لأنه زي ما أنتم شايفينهم شابات ونساء يعني جيل ناشئ، وهم افتكروا إنه يقعدوا مع بعض. الخطوة اللي عملوها إنه جا شافوا النازحين من جونجلي في جوبا. هم ده كان فكرة كويسة خالص، فأنا بناشدهم وبشجعهم خالص وبشكرهم على أساس إنه هم فكروا في مساعدة الأسر والأطفال الموجودين في المخيم. بشكر برضو مجموعات الجات، بذكر مدرسة النور الإسلامية اللي هي أدت المساحة عشان النازحين يقعدوا فيها. ما حاتكلم كتير لأنه إحنا كلنا عارفين النزوح جلي والمسألة بتاعت الخلاف the fail coup اللي كان عملوها مجموعات بتاعت ريق مشار، وهم لسه يعني ما وقفوا إنه بس نزحوا الأسر والمجتمعات من مناطقهم. مسألة قتل ومسألة بتاعت شجار ولسه مواصلين فيها، فإحنا بننتحرهم وبنناشدهم إنه ما دام إحنا قبلنا نخش في الترابيزة بتاعت السلام نمشي نرجع وننتهي من المسألة دي حتى الأسر دي تقدر ترجع للمنطقة بتاعتهم. المسألة بتاعت إنه نساعد بعضينا. دولة جنوب السودان، جمهورية جنوب السودان من هي أخذت الاستغلال بتاعها، إحنا طلعنا من فترة طويلة بتاعت حرب، وبقى زي كأنه عادة إحنا نكون في شجار وفي حرب، والمسألة دي لازم تنتهي، لازم تنتهي. وأنا عايزة إن مجموعة بتاعت المرأة الحديثة لجنوب السودان ما تكون مركزة بس إنه في مساعدات القاسية، لأنه فيها مجموعة بتاعت دكاترة، في صحفيين، في ممرضات، مجموعة قوية خالص وحديثة بالفعل. فأنا عايزة أناشدهم للخطوة اللي عملوها، لكن برضو عايزاهم يكون عندهم رؤية أطول من كده، إنه كلنا نتكاتف ونطلع من هنا. المرة الجاية يكون عندهم بروجكت أكبر من كده، إنه كيف نخلي الأسر دي تستقر وترجع، كيف إنه الأطفال الموجودة هنا ترجع للمدارس بتاعتها. So I just want to encourage you and I want to appreciate the South Sudanese Modern Women Association for putting up this gathering, for putting the money from their own pocket. As what they said earlier, they collected the material and they came here and did assessment. It's an amazing work for young ladies and women to do it. So I just want to acknowledge their work. I want to appreciate it and call upon the youth. You know what they did is a modern, it's a sample that we should all look into and do the same thing. When they came and looked into the women suffering because of the displacement and putting the material together and come and donating it today, it shows that we are all caring for one another. And so I encourage them that they will also start putting a long-term vision to help in taking us from humanitarian to development. As the government is at the table, negotiation table, looking into a peaceful agreement with the rebels, we are calling upon the rebels to stop the killing, to stop, because we are the same people. We are one nation, one people, and it doesn't take us anywhere to continue killing each other. So we negotiate, we come into a peaceful agreement, we take our people from displacement, we take them to the homes, and what we fought for decades was for us to have an independent nation. Only? No, but it is independent and developed. So let us start encouraging our associations and the young groups like this one here, the Women Modern Association, to engage in development. They are young intellectuals, doctors, nurses, journalists, and it is very good for them to come and try and look to relieve the suffering of our women and children. But I want them to make use of their expertise to be able to participate in the development. So let's end war, let us end conflict and make use of our expertise. Let's make use of this young generation to develop our nation as we want to. And instead of crying out we don't have capacity, we do have capacity. These young ladies are full of capacity and experiences. The chair lady, she told me earlier that she's a psychiatrist and a psychologist and a headmistress. So she is somebody who can do better in developing the education of our young children. So I call upon the communities to join hands and support them. I call upon the international agencies to look into such young associations that are coming up and to help them in their endeavor and look into what their expertise are. Finally, Republic of South Sudan, we are one nation, we are one people, and we are better than this. We are not just weak. We remember several times our Vice President in different talks talking about our history. We are a strong nation. We are a nation that has a very strong history. Let us look into our history of kingdoms and royal nation and stand up on that. Let us also remember in our national anthem we said, oh God bless South Sudan. So now God is willing to bless South Sudan. We also, as people of South Sudan, have to be willing to stand up from the remnant of war and conflict and displacement, and we get up. نساعد نفسنا عشان ربنا اللي هو مستعد يساعدنا كمان. So we look into ourselves, we are strong, we can do it, we will move out of here. Let us believe in our government, in our army, to bring peace again into our nation and for us to move on into development. God bless South Sudan, and thank you so much, Modern Women Association.
الضابط المعسكر هنا بشكر الوزيرة بتاع الولاية الجنوبية وزير الصحة وبشكر سارة جامدة جدا كممثل بتاع المرأة في برلمان قومية ممثل التيم الموجود تيم وورك فيه أطباء وفيه صحفيين وفيه ده ليوم عظيم بالنسبة لهم كجود يعني حاجة جميل جدا كأنتم من هذا الجنوبية أول وزيرة جاء من الناس بتاع الجنوبية كلهم من الحكومة وأنتم ادوا صفقة شديد تتذكروا لأنه يعني في المعسكر هنا قاعد في 3 مجاميع يعني 4 مجاميع في منطقة الجنوبية فيه 5 طبعا لو فيه نفرين و3 يعني احنا نقول مثلا ده الجنوبية حديثة لأنه دينكا ونوير جون من نوير ومورلي ونيواك قاعدين في المعسكر ده وتقريبا من تكوين المعسكر من يوم 30 شهر 12 ما في اي كرايسيس ما في زول عنده مشكله مع زول وزد ده بوري انه الجنوبيه حديثه في المنطقه دي وجا الناس نشكرك يا وزير انت وصلت هنا نحن بيعاني في الناس قاعدين في المعسكر من مساله بتاع فود ايتم مساله بتاع فود ايتم صعب جدا RRC جمره واحد براز بتاع وزير الرعايه الانتمائيه وفجأة قطع سلموا شغل ده لسنتر غاتوريا سنتر غاتوريا لحد دلوقتي ما ظهر أي برنامج منه كان جبنا المنظمة اسمه ميد اير انتم من هذا المعسكر هنا تشكر منظمة اسمه ميد اير ده ميد اير عمل فكان عمل المحلات بتاع دور المياه وقاعد يجيب المويه للناس وكان جاب مجموعة بتاع الأطباء جا عمل تست للأطفال تطعيم وحاجات ده ونحن نجد شكر لميدار يا سيد الوزير انت وصلت لناسك ناسك محتاجين بفود ايتم طبعا جارين واحد ما عنده فرش واحد ما عنده القدرون واحد ما طبعا انا ما بوصل نانو بنوم في الارضيه ساي يعني بعد شويه نوريك زي في اماكن ده عشان تشوف المرأة تعبان في جنوب السودان مرة يعودوا في كل سنه بجري جينا في كل سنة يعودوا بموت وسو انتم ناس الحكومة جمع يد بتاعكم معنا النور يعني كرجل مسلم قدر يقعد ناس في محله ومدارس هسه عيبتها ما معروف ناس اللي يودون وين وده